What's up, guys? Brendan from Market Makers. Saturday night, September 11th. Guys, it's almost 11 o'clock here. Why am I making videos so late? Well, look at my screen. I don't have a lot to work with here to show you, but believe it or not, this is the 1 hour time frame. There's actually some patterns in here as well. We're going to jump into that. Guys, check out our Discord. The link is in the video description. Have almost 4,000 people there now, sitting here in early September. Back in June, we had 5 people when we started. We have almost 4,000 people now. We have trade signals, community, education, just a fantastic place to be. A pay side has a trade signals, and then a free side you can still chat in. So join one or the other. It is fully refundable if you're not satisfied and you want to try out the pay side. I highly recommend it because we've had guys just crushing it, especially on that butterfly trade I showed you guys last week. Also, if you're looking for a new exchange, check out BitGet. $630 in bonuses. The link is in the video description. They are a liquid exchange, no scam wicks, guys. They have the most security certificates of any exchange currently online, as well as being a top 5 exchange by volume, okay? I just started using them yesterday. They support USDC, USDT. Very, very cool site. If you like Femex, it looks identical to Femex. They're both in Singapore. They have a couple extra features that Femex doesn't have, which I really enjoy. So you can check that out. That link is in the video description. Let's jump into this. All right. So we have Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. I showed you guys the bat pattern yesterday. Okay. So this is the bat pattern. This is a bearish pattern. And again, price would start up at X, come down to A, to B, to C, up to D, and hit this 51K-ish area, which is exactly where the butterfly was, and then the market dumped 20%. So I'm not as keen on this pattern. We are tracking to it perfectly still. We validated X, A, B. We validated C. So technically you're on the C retracement working on your D point for the pattern reversal, and then price would dump. But I don't necessarily see Bitcoin going up 6,000 points, okay? I mean, I'm tracking it because it's a possibility. It just doesn't seem likely. And I know people ask me, so if the candles come out to the side, does that invalidate the pattern? And the answer is no, guys. The pattern's drawn for aesthetic purposes, but it isn't married to fibs, okay? This pattern's valid unless these candles drop below the A point here, okay? If these candles come below the A point, then the pattern's invalidated. Sideways movement doesn't matter. All you would do if you were going to redraw this, you'd have to pull out a fib, and you'd be able to expand this, move it over, because it travels along the fib, okay? So it's just aesthetic reasons. The other pattern, guys, that I'm really tracking, because it's my pattern, it's a Gartley Cobra. I showed this to YouTube about a month ago. We traded it successfully. We only hit our first price target based on the market that we were in, but this is a really cool pattern, okay? I invented this pattern. It's called a Gartley Cobra. Drew a little eye there. Serves no purpose other than to look cool. Could be a fish, I guess. People have said it looks like a fish. Could be a snake. I call it a cobra. So what you have here is the red is the bearish Gartley, the green is the bullish Gartley. Sometimes the candles line up just perfectly so that you can have two Gartleys married on top of each other and they're sharing some lines, okay? But there's two very different outcomes. So for the bearish Gartley, because remember these patterns are counter trend, the bearish Gartley goes from X to A, up to B, down to C, up to D. So price has to go up before it drops. And at the PRZ, the pattern reversal is where price would drop, okay? And then the bullish Gartley works the other way. The bullish Gartley starts down here at X. This is the M pattern. Goes to A, to B, to C, to D. So price comes down before it goes up, and then price would go up from here. So I'm tracking this both ways. As you can see, it's tracking perfectly and beautifully. I drew this, by the way, right there. So all of this has happened since then. I do expect this to continue tracking perfectly, and then price is going to make a decision to either hit this D point here, and at that point you will see the price go down, or to hit this D point here, and at that point you'll see the price go up. So I'm excited to see what happens because we'll be taking trades on this in our room. And of course, the other pattern that's very key, because if we do start losing support, guys, our Gartley X, which could also become a bullish bat, this is a bullish pattern. However, in this bullish pattern, price has to descend, okay? And if we get down here to this level, 38K, 42K, somewhere in there, this could be a bat or a Gartley. I drew it as a Gartley X. Price comes this direction, X to A to B. It'll hit this 38, 40, 42K level, come back up. This is your new lower high, 47K. Price will then come down, make a decision at 34K to go up or to continue down again to this buy box, guys, which is 19K Bitcoin and 14K Bitcoin, at which point, if the market decides, if buyers step in, you're out of the bear cycle, going into a bull cycle. 62K, 74K Bitcoin, that is your new targets, okay? So we can all hope for that. This is a bullish pattern that has to descend before you bounce up, okay? So let's look current time frame, 1 hour. Bitcoin price action. Guys, one thing I want to show you really quickly. Very important, and nobody uses this in crypto. Our room uses it because they know the value of it. This is the ATR, this simple red line. Everybody, and I mean everybody in Forex uses this. This is where I come from, okay? So this is average true range. It shows volatility. The reason this is so important is perfectly illustrated right here, by the way. Do you see how you have a baseline? Volatility is low. What that means is the candles are close together. Once you get to this low range here, at some point, could be hours, could be days, price will explode up or down, but the volatility will go straight up. And this is that butterfly dump that we had that dumped the market 20%. Okay, so visualize it like a coiled snake. And guess what? The ATR is descending again towards my baseline. There is a price move coming, my friends. It was last week, Sunday, when Bitcoin started to fall apart. So Bitcoin could either be pumping or dumping very, very soon. Okay, now I believe the bias is to go down based on everything that I'm seeing. So we'll see what happens with that. But I want to share that with you guys. As you can see, the volume is still selling off and the trend is still down as well. Let's look at the Ichi cloud real quick. Get an indication of what we can see in the cloud trading world. So you see our red Kumo cloud, we're still traveling below it here. So this, notice how thick this is though, okay? So this is a thick resistance cloud. Remember, Ichi Kumo clouds visualize support and resistance with a cloud. So this is thick resistance. Price comes up until it gets rejected, comes up, gets rejected, and then you lose your moving average cloud right here, and then you just keep getting rejected, okay? You got back above it and you fell back below it, but notice that the cloud's getting thinner, okay? So there's less and less resistance. So we could see a little move up, and also the direction of the cloud is going more horizontal, where it was dipping harder down here. So you're going to see price move along here, and you could see another attempt to come up, which is good because that helps complete some of my patterns, okay? I got patterns covering the ascent and descent, whichever way it decides to go. So this looks good. This is better for Bitcoin price to see if it can punch through this cloud. It needs to be as thin as possible. That means the least amount of resistance. Let me turn that off. Let's look at one more thing real quick. Turn that off. Let's put our temas on here because we had that bearish cross. And I noticed this is interesting. So we had the bearish cross up here. I showed this to you guys yesterday, right? But now, because of the way that they're coming together, you can see this right here, right? One of two things will happen right here. You're either going to get a repel, right? You'll get a repel where the moving averages will hit each other, the temas will hit each other and go the opposite directions, and you'll still be in this bearish mode here, or you could get a bullish cross. So that is another possibility. If we get a bullish cross here, if price is able to come up and start climbing back up my Cobra, by the way, because I need price to come back up like it is now and start tracking back along my Cobra, then it's in this bearish pattern, and then that's when it's going to dump, guys. And if it comes back up and then goes back down, we could be in this bullish pattern. So all these things marry together. It's very important to track your various patterns and price action. So the temas are excellent for determining trends, so I'm going to watch that closely and see what happens with them. And let's see here. I think that's getting kind of close to what I'll show you. Let's look at the Gann fan again really quickly and see what kind of resistance levels we're looking at. I'm sure it's pure resistance. Well, actually, we have some support lines because of the price action, so that's good. So you can see price is hitting its head right now on the these thick hot pink lines. That's the heavy resistance. That's where you're hitting your head. So the price action may be able to come up some, but it has to get through all of this resistance. You do have a couple green support lines going through here, active support lines, but it's an upwards battle, my friends. You know, everybody on YouTube's talking about this 42K level over here that we had from the initial 20% drop. Guys, I gave you that 42K level almost 2 weeks ago when I first drew the butterfly, okay? Everybody's talking about how this is such a key support level. This was the 1618 extension right here on the butterfly, and we hit it, okay? So we did get bought back up very quickly, but again, a lot of people are expecting to come back down and test this 42K level, which is a possibility, and I have patterns if it does. I just don't think Bitcoin is going to be able to get very high. And I think overall, even if Bitcoin goes up, again, just like that bat pattern, this is a bearish pattern. Even if Bitcoin does surge up to the 51K level and everybody's putting out Bitcoin 75K, Bitcoin 100K thumbnails again, you guys know because you're watching this channel, there's a very high probability you're going to dump again if you do surge up. And again, I do expect for the actual overall pattern to be something like this, one of our bullish patterns where we're descending down to the low 40s, possibly to 38K, and then coming back up for a new high at 47. That seems very logical and very rational based on the price action. Guys, I hope you have a fantastic Saturday night. I don't usually make videos Sunday, but I'll throw an update out there, especially if there's some Bitcoin price action, guys. Talk to you guys soon.